It was a warm evening in London when a woman dressed in a black gown stepped onto the stage of the Wembley Arena. The lights dimmed, and thousands of people began cheering. Her name was Dr. Ruja Ignatova. But soon, the world would know her as the Crypto Queen. With diamonds around her neck and confidence in her smile, she spoke about the future. A future where banks would fall, and a new digital coin called OneCoin would rule the world. "This is your chance to be part of something big," she told the audience, her voice echoing across the massive hall. Bitcoin was for the few. OneCoin is for everyone. People screamed, clapped, and believed. They believed they were standing in front of the next big financial revolution. But what no one knew that night was, everything about OneCoin was a lie. Before OneCoin, Dr. Ruja was already known as a genius. Born in Bulgaria, she had studied at Oxford, spoke several languages, and worked in top financial firms. She looked perfect, smart, beautiful, powerful, someone who could be trusted. But behind her perfect image, she was planning something dark, something that would soon become one of the biggest scams in history. In 2014, she launched OneCoin, calling it the Bitcoin killer. People all over the world started investing, from small villages in India to big cities in America. Every investor believed they were buying real cryptocurrency. They imagined their money would grow just like Bitcoin's value had. But there was one big problem. OneCoin didn't exist on any blockchain. It was just numbers inside a private database. People weren't buying coins. They were buying a dream that Ruja had sold perfectly. Ruja was a master of illusion. She understood how to make people believe. She built offices in Sofia, held grand events, and even started training programs to educate people about OneCoin. Millions joined her mission. At every event, she wore luxurious clothes and spoke with confidence. "Banks are afraid of us," she said, "because we are taking their power." The crowd loved her. They saw her as a hero, a woman fighting for financial freedom. But behind that smile, Ruja knew the truth. Every dollar coming in was going straight into her own pocket. By 2016, OneCoin had spread to over 175 countries. It was no longer just an investment. It had become a global movement. People quit their jobs, sold their houses, and convinced their friends to join. Many believed OneCoin would make them millionaires. In reality, it was a multi-billion-dollar Ponzi scheme. New investors' money was used to pay older investors, a cycle that could only last as long as people kept believing. But cracks were starting to show. Some financial experts began asking questions. Where is the blockchain, they asked. Where are the transactions recorded? Whenever reporters tried to investigate, Ruja and her team gave vague answers. "It's a private blockchain," they said, but no one could verify it. Still, Ruja continued her show until October 2017. She was scheduled to speak at another grand event in Lisbon, Portugal. Thousands of investors waited for her to arrive. Her private jet was ready. The stage was set. But when the time came, she never showed up. Ruja Ignatova, the Crypto Queen, had vanished without a trace. Her phone went silent. Her offices shut down. Even her closest team members didn't know where she was. Some said she was hiding in Dubai. Others claimed she had changed her face with plastic surgery and fled to Greece. Interpol launched a global search. The FBI put her on their most wanted list. But years passed, and Ruja was still missing. The people she fooled were left with nothing. Life savings were gone. Families broke apart. Some investors even took their own lives. The revolution Ruja promised had turned into a nightmare. But the story wasn't over yet. Someone else from her circle was about to break the silence. A man who'd worked right beside her. Someone who knew the secrets of OneCoin from the inside. While the world was trying to find Ruja, her brother Konstantin, Ignatov quietly took over the company. He tried to calm investors, saying, "Ruja is just taking a break. She'll return soon." But deep down, he knew she was Sante coming back. Soon after, Konstantin made a trip to the US for a business meeting. What he didn't know was that the FBI was waiting. The moment he landed, he was arrested. And that's when the truth began to unfold. In secret FBI interviews, Konstantin revealed shocking details. He admitted that OneCoin had never been a real cryptocurrency. He confessed that billions had been stolen from investors around the world. And he said something chilling. "My sister planned everything. But even under pressure, Konstantin couldn't tell them where Ruja was. "She disappeared," he said. "Even I don't know where she went." And just like that, the mysterious crypto queen became a ghost, a woman who fooled the world and vanished into thin air. Part 1 ends with the mystery deepening. Who helped Ruja escape? Where did all the money go? And how could one woman pull off one of the biggest scams in modern history? Right under everyone else, the night Dr. Ruja Ignatova disappeared, everything seemed perfectly planned. Her private jet was ready at Sofia Airport. Her assistants believed she was heading to Lisbon to speak at another OneCoin event, but when the plane took off, it didn't land in Portugal. Instead, it stopped in Athens, Greece. After that, Ruja was gone. No one saw her at the airport. No one saw her at any hotel. It was as if the earth had swallowed her. The woman who had convinced millions to invest billions had vanished into the dark, behind a global mystery that even the FBI couldn't solve. For the first few weeks, her team at OneCoin kept telling investors that she would return. "Dr. Ruja is busy with a big announcement," they said. "She's meeting important people." But months passed, and her office remained empty. Some employees began to panic. Others continued to sell OneCoin packages, pretending everything was normal. The illusion had to continue because if people stopped believing, the entire empire would collapse. Soon, governments around the world began investigating. Warnings were issued in Germany, Italy, and the UK banks froze OneCoin's accounts. But by then, the money was already gone. Billions of dollars hidden in offshore accounts and cash transfers. And the mastermind behind it all, missing without a trace. People began creating theories. Some believed Ruja had been killed by her partners after a fight over money. Others thought she had bought a new identity and was living somewhere luxurious under a different name. There were rumors of her hiding in Dubai, where OneCoin had secret bank connections. Some said she moved between Russia and Greece, protected by powerful people who didn't want her found. Interpol, Europol, and the FBI all launched searches, but nothing worked. It was as if the crypto queen had planned her escape years before she disappeared. While the hunt continued, her brother Konstantin Ignatov took charge of the company. He tried to act confident, but deep down, he was scared. The investors wanted answers, and the authorities were getting closer every day. In 2019, Konstantin traveled to Los Angeles for a conference. The moment he landed, he was arrested by the FBI. Under interrogation, he finally spoke. OneCoin was not real, he confessed. It was never a cryptocurrency. He explained that Ruja had bought properties, jewelry, and art worth millions. She had converted the stolen money into assets that couldn't be easily traced. Konstantin admitted he didn't know where she was, only that she had planned her escape carefully. She told him, "If something happens, I will disappear, and no one will ever find me." The FBI now had proof that OneCoin was a massive Ponzi scheme, stealing more than $4 billion from people around the world. They put Ruja's name on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list. One of the few women ever to appear there. Her description was clear. Height, 5'5" inches, hair, black eyes, brown languages, English, German, Bulgarian. Reward up to $250,000 for information leading to her arrest. Still, no one came forward. No one claimed to have seen her. It was like she had simply vanished from the planet. Investigators later found out that before disappearing, Ruja had taken a flight to Athens with 2 Russian men. They were believed to be her bodyguards. After landing, she switched cars several times and was last seen heading toward the Greek coast. From there, no one knows what happened. Some believe she boarded a private yacht and sailed to the Middle East. Others think she crossed into Eastern Europe by land, protected by people connected to organized crime. Years later, a Bulgarian journalist claimed he had proof that Ruja was still alive and living under a new identity. But when he got close to the evidence, he suddenly stopped his investigation. Some say he received threats. Others believe he was paid to stay silent. Meanwhile, victims of OneCoin were left to face the destruction she caused. A schoolteacher in Germany lost her entire pension. A taxi driver in Uganda sold his home to invest. In India, thousands of small investors lost everything. Many of them had believed in Ruja because she spoke with passion and power. She didn't just sell a coin, she sold hope, and that's what made her scam so dangerous. By 2020, OneCoin's offices were closed, and most of its top leaders were arrested. But even in 2025, Dr. Ruja Ignatova remains missing. The FBI continues to search, but there are no confirmed sightings. Some investigators now believe she might be living in Russia, under government protection, because Russia has no extradition treaty with the US. A few experts think she might have even changed her appearance through surgery. New face, new identity, new life. One FBI agent described her as a ghost with billions. But even though she vanished, her story continues to warn the world about blind trust in online investments. OneCoin became a symbol, a reminder that greed and trust can destroy lives. The mystery of Dr. Ruja Ignatova is not just about money. It's about how one woman controlled millions of minds using nothing but words, charm, and lies. In a world where digital scams keep growing, her disappearance still raises the same haunting questions. Where's the crypto queen now? Did she escape justice forever? Or is she hiding somewhere, still watching the world chase the shadow she left behind? It has now been years since Dr. Ruja Ignatova vanished, yet her shadow still haunts the world of finance. Every few months, a rumor spreads. Someone saw her in Dubai. She was spotted in Russia, or she's living under another name in Greece. But when investigators check, there's nothing. No pictures, no proof. Just whispers. The FBI, Europol, and Interpol continue their search. Her name remains on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list, alongside murderers and drug lords. But unlike them, Ruja is not just a criminal. She's a mystery. A woman who outsmarted the system and disappeared with billions of dollars. In 2022, new clues began to surface. A leaked document from Bulgaria suggested that Ruja had connections with powerful businessmen and corrupt politicians. Some of them may have helped her escape. One report even claimed that she had bought property in Dubai using OneCoin money. When journalists reached out to Dubai officials, they got no answers. Dubai had no record of her under her real name, but investigators believe she could be living there under a false identity. One FBI agent said, "With that kind of money, you can buy silence, protection, and even a new face." Meanwhile, victims around the world continued to fight for justice. In London, a group of investors formed an organization called the OneCoin Victims Alliance. They collected stories of people who lost their savings, their homes, and even their families because of Ruja's lies. One man sighed, "I believed in her. She spoke like a savior. I told my friends to invest. Now, I can't even look them in the eye." Their goal was to keep the case alive, to make sure the world never forgets what happened. In 2023, the BBC released a podcast called The Missing Crypto. It became a global hit. The journalists behind it spent years chasing leads, traveling across Europe and the Middle East. They spoke to former employees, investors, and even people who claimed to have met Ruja after she disappeared. One source said she was seen in Athens just months after vanishing, protected by bodyguards and moving between safe houses. Another said she had changed her appearance completely, lighter hair, new face, different name. But each time the reporters got close, the trail went cold. What made the case even stranger was how many people still believed in OneCoin. Even after it was proven to be a scam, small groups continued promoting it online. They called Ruja a financial visionary and said she would return one day to prove everyone wrong. Some even claimed she was being hidden by powerful enemies who didn't want her to expose the truth about global banking. It was the perfect irony. Even after stealing billions, Ruja still had followers. In 2024, a major breakthrough came. A leaked intelligence file revealed that Ruja had traveled using a German passport under a fake name in 2018, almost a year after her disappearance. The passport showed she had flown from Athens to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and then to Dubai. This was the first solid clue in years. The FBI immediately focused its investigation on the Middle East. But still, no one could find her. Many experts now believe Ruja may be living a quiet, protected life, possibly married, possibly disguised, enjoying the billions she stole while the world searches for her ghost. In Bulgaria, her hometown, people still talk about her. Some call her a criminal genius. Others say she was just lucky. Her old mansion outside Sofia now stands abandoned. The garden is overgrown, and the windows are broken. Inside, Investigators once found expensive paintings, a private elevator, and closets filled with designer clothes, but no sign of the woman who once ruled the crypto world. Neighbors say sometimes, at night, they see lights flickering inside the house, even though no one lives there. Maybe it's just electricity. Or maybe, as some locals whisper, Ruja returns, sometimes secretly. Her brother, Constantine, now a key witness for the FBI, is in the US under protection. He cooperated with investigators to reduce his sentence. In court, he said, "I wish I could tell you where she is, but she planned her escape alone. She trusted no one." He also admitted that before disappearing, Ruja transferred more than $500 million in cash and assets to unknown accounts. Money that may never be recovered. Today, the hunt for the crypto queen continues. Interpol has issued a red notice, meaning any country that finds her must arrest her immediately. The FBI continues to offer a reward for information, and journalists still receive anonymous tips claiming to know where she is. But none of it leads anywhere. Each year that passes makes it harder to believe she'll ever be caught. Some investigators secretly admire her planning. "It's like she vanished into another world," one said. And yet, her story remains alive in documentaries, podcasts, and YouTube channels. People are fascinated not just by her crime, but by her mystery. How did she plan it all? How could she lie so perfectly? And how could someone so famous simply disappear? Some believe she one day returned, maybe with a new face, maybe with another big idea. Others think she's dead, her fortune buried with her secrets. But one thing is certain: Dr. Ruja Ignatova changed the world of crime forever. She wasn't a gangster or a hacker. She was a businesswoman who used intelligence, charm, and greed to manipulate millions, and then escaped like smoke in the wind. Even today, the FBI's website lists her face with a warning in bold letters: "Caution." Ignatova is believed to travel with armed guards and may have altered her appearance. Somewhere out there, the crypto queen may still be watching the world chase her story, watching people talk about her every move, and maybe, just maybe, smiling, because in the end, she did what no one else could. She built an empire of lies, stole billions, and vanished without a trace.